Yeah. YouTube! What's up, baby? Back in this thing again for another review. This is Q's Insight. I'm Callie, and today we're here to talk about a movie called The Boogeyman. Okay, so this movie came out in 2023. Came out in theaters. When I saw the trailer, I was pretty interested in it. I don't know if I was so interested in to the point where I would go, like, go see it in the movies. Maybe more so wait till, it's on like streaming or, buy it on VOD, something like that, right? Hold up. I just always messing up, bro. If you've been to this channel before, you already know how we do it. We started off with the premise, 3 favorite scenes, the grade, and then we on to the next one, right? Again, so this is The Boogeyman. Horror mystery movie, came out in 2023, okay? Just for notification, that if you have not seen this movie, or if you have seen this movie, you wanted to see it again without, purchasing the video or renting it at a high price. If you have Hulu, it's on Hulu right now, okay? So, there you go. But The Boogeyman, okay? So, this movie, hold on a second, let me get the cast pulled up. So this movie is kind of about a family called, their last names is the Harpers, okay? So last name's the Harpers. You got a father that has he has 2 daughters. The father's name is Will Harper, and he's like a psychiatrist. And then the daughter's name is Sadie, and the oldest daughter's name is Sadie. Probably like 16 to 18 is her age, right? Sawyer, the youngest daughter, she is probably like anywhere from like 8 to 10, right? So this is a family that is going through tragedy, you know what I'm saying? They have a death in the family. They lost, their mom or wife, however you want to say it, right? Now, in the beginning of this movie, we come to find out that there is an entity named the Boogeyman, right? And this is an evil entity because the opening of this movie was very, I'd say disturbing. Like it wasn't that it was like scary. It wasn't too gruesome because they don't necessarily show what happens. They kind of hint to what happens. And like I said, bro, that was a very, very, that was a crazy opening. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, even if you don't watch the whole thing, just go watch the opening. Like that was very, that was a bold move, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we know about this entity named the Boogeyman, who is definitely a entity that you do not want to come into contact with, right? So, eventually what happens is Dr. Harper, or Will Harper, ends up running into a gentleman named Lester Billings, okay? Now, Lester comes to him pleading for help, wanting to have a counseling appointment right at that like a session to go right there at that time. But Will is like, I don't do it like that. You got to set it up, whatever. But Lester is looking very disturbed, and he kind of forces his way in type thing. And then so what happens is, he ends up talking to Will. He lets him know that, like, I'm going through something very, very dark. There's this entity that killed my kids, right? And being that Will is a psychiatrist, whatever you want to say, of course the first thing you're gonna do is like ask him question to do, whoever it is, male, female, did you do it? Or like, what I'm saying, is this something that you're imagining? Like, what's really going on? And that's exactly what Will does. And they have a long conversation, Eventually, Will gets to the point where he's like, you know what, I got to get out of here and I got to, call the cops on this dude. So that's what he does. While he's doing that, um, Lester ends up roaming around inside of Will's house because where he meets Will out for the appointment is at Will's house. So, anyways, Will roams around. One of his daughters, I don't know, I think, yeah, only one of the daughters were home at the time. Roams around for a second, boom, he goes in the closet and he ends up dying, right? And it's just a crazy situation because he just explained about this entity that was after his family, that killed his, children, leaving him and his wife alone and in dark despair, right? So, what they end up doing is, the cops come, everything's flushed out, whatever you want to say. Then all of a sudden, Sawyer, the youngest daughter, she starts having the interactions with the boogeyman. And then it gets to a point where, she's getting hurt, whatever it may be. And then, Sadie starts to kind of pick up on a trace of what's going on. And then amongst what she's going on and amongst what's going on in her life, she starts to see this entity as well. So then at that point, you're knowing that, your younger sister is not, telling a fib no more. Like, this is real deal. Like, so she ends up trying to find out more about the boogeyman entity. And she goes to Lester Billings' house, and she ends up talking to his wife, and she explains about the boogeyman just a little bit. It wasn't like everything, but we come to find out that this is an entity that's probably been around for a long time, preys on children, likes to, play with his food. He likes to scare people to death and then eventually kill them, right? And then it's, afraid of the dark, like I said. And we don't exactly know if it's a creature, is it a demon, and we don't know exactly what it is, but those are the things that are specifically talked about from Mrs. Billings, right? And so during Sadie interactions with Mrs. Billings, the boogeyman attacks, leaving Sadie to run back home. Eventually, she starts to talk to her father about what's going on with her and Sawyer, and just saying that, we're being chased by the boogeyman, whatever. He doesn't necessarily believe, right? Eventually, we get to a point where he does believe, okay? And then they are tasked with trying to destroy this creature before they get destroyed themselves. And that's all I'm going to say for the movie, all right? So that's a good premise. Kind of said a little too much, but still, that's a good premise. If you guys haven't seen the movie, hopefully that's enough to make you want to go see the movie. If you guys have seen the movie, of course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, so that's the premise. We're going to go on to 3 of my favorite scenes. 3 of my favorite scenes. Now, this will be spoilerish, and this may be out of order, but this will be spoilerish. So if spoils, oh my God, bro. If spoiling the movie is something that you don't want me to do for you, then pause the video, come back later after you see the movie. If you don't mind the spoiling that I'm going to do for this movie, then stay tuned. And also, if you've seen the movie, then just stay tuned, because there's nothing new for you to learn, right? Anyways, so my 3 favorite scenes, definitely the opening, bro. When they show the boogeyman, I mean, not even really even show him, but just kind of, you feel his aura from his presence, even though you don't get to see a full image of dude, right? You see the baby crying in the crib, man. Okay? Now, if you got kids, it's going to be a little bit more, you're going to understand it more. If you don't got no kids, you may understand it less, but still, you're going to understand it. But, bro, that baby was crying, and the crying just kept on getting more intense, and it saw the creature, and it was utterly scared of it, bro. It was utterly scared of it. And that's how you can tell that this monster feeds off of, it likes its flesh to be scared, because you can see in the beginning how the baby is like crying a little bit, little lot to like the utmost screaming and crying. So when they pan the camera away from the baby into the picture of the family, the baby, the father, and the mother, and you just hear the baby scream a little bit more, and then you hear some cracking going on. So you can just imagine that this baby just got his head, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like blood on the picture and stuff. I was like, yo, this is so crucial. Yeah, that was pretty bad, man. But that's my first favorite scene. My second favorite scene would be, I mean, there's oh yes, the part where Sadie is like, I don't know if she was dreaming or what, but when Sawyer is like talking to her or whatever, and she's like, no, leave me alone, I gotta have some time to and then she closes her door and goes in the room, right? And then like you hear something just knocking on the door, and it's like, she's like, I told you, Sawyer, like I gotta, boom, door gets knocked down, and then it's the boogeyman, and just like sticks his hand down her mouth and just like kind of like crawls inside of her, and then she like wakes up, bro. That was a crazy scene, right? So that'll be two of my favorite scenes. My third favorite scene, bro, has to be when Sadie goes back to Mrs. Billings' house, and they try to deal with the entity themselves. And things kind of work out for a second, but not all the way, because Miss Billings got ripped apart, like in half, bro. And you don't really get to see it like real clear, like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't focus on it, but it's more so like a shot that's in the background. You know what I'm saying? So you just see, help me, Sadie, help me. And Sadie's like trying to get free because you done chained her up, idiot. But anyway, Sadie's trying to get free, and Miss Billings is screaming for help like crazy, like, and then you just see all this, and she got a shotgun too, so she's shooting the boogeyman, and then probably missing and everything like that, whatever, but still screaming for help at the top of her lungs, bro. And then the boogeyman just says, glad, just rips her right in half and just throws both the torso and the legs, you know what I'm saying, each side of the room, and starts chasing after Sadie. Dope scene. Dope scene. So that'll be three of my favorite scenes. Now the grade for this movie, it's kind of weird because, like I said, I like this movie and I like the premise of the movie. I like the creature. I like the creature design. For the most part, I like the creature design. Like when it's in the dark and everything like that. And just, the acting was cool. You know what I'm saying? Everything, like it was on point. It was on point. I just feel like the ending was a little lackluster, and I feel like the way that they dealt with the animal, I feel like the way that they dealt with the boogeyman was a little lackluster. But all in all, like for the movie, for the lore, for the creature, for the acting and everything like that, etc., I'm gonna give this above average for sure, and I'm gonna give this 7.2 out of 10. So it's gonna be a 7.2 out of 10. All right, so definitely above average, definitely worth your time. If you guys haven't seen the movie, I suggest you definitely go see the movie. You guys seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, right? But this is definitely something worth watching. Like I said, if you got Hulu, go ahead and check it out. Now that's it's available to rent. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Redbox, whatever, rent you this real quick, and then not have to pay full price for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then I think they even got it on sale. Like if you buy it on VOD right now, they got it on sale. So either way you go, any route you go, if you really want to watch a movie, you can watch the movie for the low. I'm sorry. But yeah, 7.2 out of 10, bro. Like I said, I really thought this movie was, it had a lot of intriguing elements to it. Just certain things I don't like how they dealt with the creature. I'm not really gonna I just feel like they could have thought more about how they dealt with the creature, and if they could deal with the creature like that, if this thing's been alive for so long, you mean to tell me that nobody else was able to do that? You know what I'm saying? So that's when things get like a little shaky right there. But still, 7.2 out of 10, strong grade, pretty strong movie. And definitely watchable. If you guys saw the movie, let me know some of your favorite scenes. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know about that in the comments down below. All right, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, this is Q's Insight. I am Callie. Until next time.